Well, greetings, printing enthusiasts. My name is Vicky Soma. Thank you for joining us with another episode of How Would You Slice That? If you're not familiar with the show, we stream live on Tuesdays that are prime numbers, like 5. And we try to combine a little bit of community conversation time and hopefully weave in something a little bit educational, sometimes a slicing tip or trick or strategy. And with me tonight, as always, is my co host, Dr. Lawrence Nightingale.
Hey,
Hello,
Vicky.
Lawrence. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a busy week, but
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. I've done so much stuff around the house, and as an update to what's happening with my machine, I bought my machine at 3D Printopia last September, and so I've replaced a few parts on it,
can you
and
refresh the viewers on what machine you're?
oh, I've got a Bamboo Labs P1S. And so my P1S, I caused to shorten it somehow, burned a wire, and I wound up just ordering and replacing parts, which is not really all the best thing to do when you're trying to scientifically diagnose a problem. So I wound up finally figuring out how to contact and get information to Bamboo Labs technical service, which the keys to that is keeping your print log short and your messaging short. Like you can't give them a whole lot of information in order to help for them to help you because the the software just doesn't handle a whole lot of information. But I sent them the print logs. They said that I've got a wiring harness that may be burned, and they also sent me a PC board as well as under warranty. So I got those parts in today, and I mean, I got those parts in yesterday. And if I got enough time tonight, I'm going to go ahead and put them in so I can be back up and running.
My
Um,
goodness, you have stamina that I don't have. Like you're gonna do a live stream and then you're gonna do, I'm gonna do live stream and then I'm done.
it's a moderately sized if, but it's still a possibility. Yes, yes. How about you? Have you printed anything lately?
I have aspirations. I mentioned last week that I want to try to combine crochet with like little 3D printed
Yes, for the
beads.
for the
So
wedding.
I've got a bunch of beads that are printing. The other thing I haven't highlighted on this show is they do have another update on the chocolate DNA, which is I
Ah,
think
yes.
when I first showed you, there's just like a half twist going about halfway, and
Mm-hmm.
our 3D printing is about experimenting and
Yes.
there's going to be fails, but you have to explore. And so I wondered, like, can the chocolate support itself for a full 360-degree twist where it's taller? And guess
Oh,
what? It can. So
awesome.
I have some tall chocolate. Well, not anymore. They're in digestive tracts. But at one point, I had tall chocolate DNA.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Wow, and you designed that yourself? Did you design that on Blender?
I sure did. Yep.
All right.
They
Well,
have a nice
good.
little twist, deform twist modifier.
Beautiful. Wow, that's awesome. So, well, and so you've got the cocoa print, which is a really a big thing that people have been talking about for a long time. Cocoa press, right?
Cocoa Press, yeah.
Yeah, and our guest has some things that people have been talking about for a long time too.
All right. I think you made a segue there, Lawrence.
I
All right.
went to
So
Segway class.
they have that at Northern Virginia Community College.
It's a workforce class. Yes, absolutely.
All right,
Everything you need to
everyone.
know.
So since Lawrence gave me this nice segue, we'll go into the introduction. Our guest tonight started a website called JRT3D in 2015 with one goal in mind: to make the world a better place. And
Wow.
one way he's tackling that is through the Recreator 3D project. It's a low cost DIY pultrusion system that is reducing waste on multiple fronts. First, like when you walk by, and also when you just see the little ads, its purpose is turning 3D printed, turning old bottles, old
Hmm.
plastic bottles, into 3D printing filament. So already there, you're like reusing and recycling, right?
Big time,
But
yeah.
on top of that, it's also tackling e-waste because he is took the project is using components from old 3D printers, and he's giving those old parts, like those that could end up in the landfill, a new
Right.
purpose and just a new life. Okay, so
Wonderful.
his efforts have inspired a vibrant community that's on Discord and Facebook, and the community has in turn had their own innovations. Like there've been multiple people who've done filament shredders to help support this
Wow.
effort of making the filament. He has also inspired a little character called Captain Recreator, and that's in
Nice.
turn been 3D modeled by Wexter and the 3D printing professor. So I know we've had a
Oh.
few guests on the show where they have their own filament color. Well, here's like
Mhm.
he has his own little character and his own 3D model. He's a big proponent of community and the Rip Rap festivals. And in 2014, he was the winner of the sponsor class at the 3D Printed Derby in 3D Printopia.
Wow.
And the car that it won was printed with his own recycled filament. And I believe he
Awesome.
said it was from Coca Cola bottles. Uh, his work has been highlighted by Make Magazine, HackADay, as well as YouTube channels, big YouTube channels like Made with Layers and 3D Printing Nerd and Connect Creator. And tonight he's the guest on our show. So we are
Yay.
welcoming Joshua Taylor from Recreator 3D. Josh, thank you
Hey, Josh.
for coming.
Welcome.
What amazing, humbling intro. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for
Is there
being here.
anything I left out or any corrections you need to issue?
I think that was just great as it was. Again, I think I'm trying to hold back some tears right there. Just some reflections, you know? It's
Yeah.
sometimes, again, once we get into the mud of getting into rep rap and the festivals and all that, it can be hard to reflect on some of that as we just move forward. So
Yeah, there's
thank
always
you.
something in
Thank you.
front
That
of
was,
us.
again, that was a humbling intro.
Oh, you're well earned, and you're very welcome.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. So, I mean, so the whole idea of using recycled materials to make filament is something that's been around as long as I think as long as RepRap has been around.
Yeah,
It's
it's I think it's kind of full circle on rep rap.
absolutely, and so well, so tell us about your first Recreator iteration and how it's grown since then.
Sure. I am actually going to be getting my first one back. I went a little crazy in 2022 and we gave my first one away.
Ah,
And that's being regifted back to me. But this is the closest. This is version 2. And so
uh-huh.
we kind of started going down a different path with what I started, and then the guy who brought in our firmware, uh, Nick Jones, he started to do a second iteration, and then that brought us into the MK3. So this is the MK2, close enough to our MK3, and the
Mhm.
MK3 is what kind of launched us. Um,
Yeah,
if
I
I
remember.
can tell you that, that's kind of like based off of it, Expico X3S, and that was a clone of an Ender 3, and so that company was doing a lot of sales on Amazon and eventually stopped doing sales on Amazon, and I looked at it as an opportunity to be able to launch Recreator.
Wow. And so the thing that I think of as far as like making filament and recycling plastic, there's an outfit called Philostruder.
Yeah,
You Yeah, no, Philostruder had a filament machine too, of
yeah.
course. I don't think that they're selling it anymore. Tell us a little bit about like the ways in which you've improved upon the design and really been able to make it kind of evergreen.
So I do believe I can mention it, and hopefully I don't get in trouble if I can't. But KB3D has acquired Philistruder, and they are working towards bringing it back to the community.
Mm.
So yes, those parts are in Intrum where they're going to be recataloged, and hopefully they make that back into a kit, because it has been something that mainly in my community we've been looking for.
Uh-huh.
I promote ArtMe 3D. ArtMe 3D is a desktop extruder unit. It's been cloned officially, so
Uh-huh.
Triangle Lab has an official clone that is
Uh-huh.
endorsed by ArtMe 3D.
Okay.
That's about $700, so it is twice as expensive as the Philistruder, but I think is just as where we need to go. If you've got $300 do-it-yourself, and
Uh-huh.
then the $700 kind of kit out of box.
Right.
Then
Which
the next out of box experience is going to be your $1,400 to 2,000.
right. That's a lot of filament.
It is. Part of my story with the ArtMe is in Connecticut, about an hour away from me, is a
Oh.
bamboo print farm. So this gentleman, Bumpa Builds, has a whole print farm, about, I would say at the time, 70 printers, assuming he has gotten more. But I was taking all his bamboo poop. And
Oh.
throughout the year, I had to stop at some point. I had a car accident that kind of took me out of the scene
Oh,
a
sorry to
decade
hear that.
ago. And amongst that, taking 70 pounds of weight
Yeah.
a bag. I was getting at least 10 bags of 70 pounds each every 3 weeks or so
Oh my goodness.
for about 9 months. And the ninth month, it took me out. Like it re-agitated my entire car accident stuff, and
Uh-huh.
I took 7 months to recover back from that. So trying to get ArtMe going with the recycling facility in my garage,
Mm-hmm.
it had potential.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with the ArtMe, it's a small unit. The shredder I was using is a small unit. It's do-it-yourself stuff, and so
Yeah.
if you're pulling almost, I collected 2 tons of weight, and
Wow.
that is enough for me to never need filament again if I'm able to produce that.
Right.
And so we're getting normal size rolls, diameters coming out of it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is like a navy green, and we
Okay.
can almost say that it's similar to uh, our filament that comes two-toned,
Mhm.
Oh.
because depending on what we're feeding it, this is actually recycled.
Wow.
So we're still able to produce it. Is it as robust as commercial grade? Maybe not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It can be in its own way a creative tensile testing, because you might be making a hybrid material.
Yes.
Ultimately, my bamboo poop is a combination of almost literally anything and everything considered PLA
Uh-huh.
that this bamboo farm is using to print with. So
Wow. And so to spare yourself maybe quite that much weight and everything, we now we've got the R3D.
yep.
And so but I mean the R3D is a what I like about it is that it's accessible materials and you're really taking things out of the waste stream and reusing them.
So yeah, we at the start of everything, I started actually working with the idea of taking in strips into an OG. I call it this my OG extruder, and so
Uh-huh.
you'd put pellets into it. So this is basic concept where I was going to feed my strips into it.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, when I started feeding my strips into it, it didn't go as I expected, and I started looking into the other methods of pultrusion.
Uh-huh.
So this has gone kind of full circle where my community wants me to go back into now pellet extrusion. So
Uh-huh.
part of our waste with uh, with doing pultrusion, we get tops and bottoms,
Mm-hmm.
and as well as bad pulls.
Oh.
So we want to be able to pelletize. So pelletizing has become another method that just allows us to reduce some of the remaining feet of our spools.
Mm-hmm.
For pultrusion, again, if we have a bad pull, or sometimes when we're pulling just the start of our pulls, we'll have
Mm-hmm.
5 inches of bad
It's got maybe.
uneven filament.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough. We don't want that to go into our extruder because it might jam it. Same
Yeah.
thing with the end of it as well. So yeah, there's methods of keeping it, as I like to say, we're keeping the carbon footprint at our doorstep. We're wiping our feet at our doorstep. Um,
Awesome.
because if you let that bottle leave your house, it's going
To landfill
every,
most of the
everywhere.
time.
It's
Yeah.
traveling
Good
all
point.
around your city. Once it gets picked up at your house, it's going to your neighbor's house, your neighbor's
Mm-hmm.
house, your neighbor's house. It's going back to the city. It's going back to another city. It's going across the state. It's going across the country.
Right.
Again, so wipe your feet at your door. Yes, you're putting a little water into cleaning it, a little electricity, but it's no more near what it costs to run your 3D printer,
Right.
because at the end of the day, we're running a 3D printer.
Wow. And so how do you I mean, we've seen the videos and all that stuff like that, but
Yeah.
tell us the process of how you prepare. Oh yeah, there we go. How you prepare bottles through the MK3D.
Yeah, so we do have an array of videos, content that we've tried to put out. Unfortunately, we haven't really caught up to ourselves with getting
I'm
the
sorry,
kit
MK6.
prioritized. But that's where we also rely a lot on our ambassadors and other community members who are doing content creation.
Uh-huh.
I'm very avid to go back to our community and embrace, again, those pro users, as I call them. And so we have a video on cleaning the bottles, and
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, just to bring you through that process, we're trying to take the label off. Varying bottles have varying labels with varying glue to no
Glue,
glue.
yes. No
Our
glue.
Snapple bottles have no glue. If every bottle manufacturer out in this world could
Uh,
use Snapple,
that's a
Vicky,
fun fact. I didn't know that. I didn't know
fun
that.
fact,
So
Wow.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Snapple fact. They don't use glue on their bottles. So you can literally just cut their label off and strip it down with our community bottle cutter,
Uh-huh.
and pultrude it right after that. You don't even need to wash it after that. I mean, you might want to wash it because it's going to have some Snapple in it, so
Yeah.
obviously, but the glue and removing the glue is more important than anything else.
And so
Um,
what? So now I'm just sitting here. I'm like, well, glue removal, that would be acetone, but that also messes with the PET G. So what's?
Yeah, so I do have a chart floating around that actually compares varying product out there now with, does it smell? Does it leave chemical residue on your fingers? Do you need to wear gloves rather than not wear gloves? Is it safe? Is it toxic? Can it go back into our water stream?
Mm-hmm.
So I have started using a orange spray deodorizer that you would use in your bathroom or
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else in your house just to deodorize spray. It has a natural lemon. Oh my God, lemon oil.
Uh-huh.
On the verbiage, correct me somewhere down the road, but so again, it's got oranges in it. It's just natural citrus. So technically, if you wanted to, you could eat an orange, take the peel, and use the peel as a natural way to take your glue off of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Might not work as good, but that's what we're looking for. So this spray deodorizer again is natural. For me, it doesn't bother my senses. It doesn't bother my skin, so I don't need to wear gloves. And
Wow.
again, it can go back into the water stream. It literally takes the glue right off, better than anything
Wow.
else I've ever used before.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm just going through the process here. We are trying to remove, again, a variety of different glues on the Coca-Cola bottles. It's not too bad. You don't have to really scrape too hard. I like
Mm-hmm.
to apply a little hot water because the hot water can um, help
Break it down.
release that glue and break it down, correct, as well
Mm-hmm.
as remove the bottle, the label, a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
I do stick to 2-liter bottles. Ones that are not shaped work the
Ah, that
best.
was my next question. Yeah.
If you have shaped bottles, it's not
Mm.
too bad. We just got to compress them. We make a little valve apparatus for the
Mm-hmm.
top of it. We apply some air pressure, and then
Uh-huh.
we're twirling it around even for dispensed heat so that we're pushing from one side to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that evenly helps distribute the lines back into a solid.
Ah.
Ultimately, in our bottle cutter, lines can tend to divert a even strip to an uneven strip and unfortunately cut the strip where we don't want it to, and thus we might lose half of our bottle.
Oh, I see.
I have methods that I like to teach my community members where, like, if we have a bad strip, we can actually turn that strip into a wire um,
Mm-hmm.
harness. So if you wrap that strip
Wow.
around a lead screw and then apply heat to it, you now have a makeshift do-it-yourself wire wrap.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, so yeah, that's a like a kind of a genius a mishap.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
works out. So again, we want to reduce, reuse, recreate. So as much as we can, again, not throw this stuff away. A lot of the stuff gets back down into shreds. So our bottom, that's not getting pultruded. Our top, that's not getting pultruded. It's everything in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to find, different shredders that are affordable for myself as well as other community members that just they can't afford $2,000 shredder.
Uh-huh.
Um, the good thing is those tops and bottoms, at most, from my understanding, recycling facilities, the way that they have their automated systems set up,
Mm-hmm.
they're getting blasted with like cameras that are seeing different shapes and different sizes and spinning things left and right. So fortunately, they know what the top of a soda bottle looks like.
Oh,
They know
Mm-hmm.
what the
that's lucky.
bottom
Yeah.
of a soda bottle looks like. So we don't have to worry about what is our now, is this a pet bottle? Is this a soda bottle? Is it still a bottle? We don't have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about that because again, that recycling facility already knows, oh, top of a bottle, bottom of a bottle, because you might have a crushed bottle.
Yes.
And so it needs to know I still need to put this here and there. And there's
Wow.
still a lot of hand sorting going on at those facilities that a lot of people just take total
Yeah.
advantage of, like, don't know, don't care. It goes at the end of my driveway and it's not my problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's so many things in the modern world that we don't really think about how the end result really comes out. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You're
I have
absolutely
two
right.
questions on the cleaning of the bottles.
Yep.
From the chat, never let the machines win. He's wondering, like I guess the process with the orange spray that you're talking about. He's speculating similar to the stuff that we used to use to change the film on the Prusa Mark II build plate. Yeah,
So
to
is this a
remove the
spray?
glue.
Was it a similar spray? It was a glue.
No, it's a
I
glue remover, I think.
have you?
So it
Yeah,
it might be. Again, I'm not familiar with that uh product exactly. I did go through at least, like, I think 5 to 6 different off the shelf items. We've got like Goo Gone, Goof Off,
I've used Goo
stuff
Gone.
like
Yeah.
that, right? So
Yeah.
some of, like, Goof Off will actually like stain your hand with a white, stain substance. I'm not sure how, like, what interaction it's having with your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me like, oh my god, I can smell chemical. I don't want to smell chemical. If you're smelling chemical while you're removing glue and then you don't wash that, one of my biggest concerns is, you know, uh, uh everyone's concern is pet one able to actually go through and become a bottle into filament? Yes. Can we colorize it? Yes. How are we colorizing it? We don't want to colorize it with like acrylics, paints, stuff that might become
Airborne.
inhalable,
Yeah.
airborne.
Yeah.
So Pet 1 is safe as it is. Depending on what you're cleaning it with, I can't say it's safe after the fact. So Goof Off, I would goof off from that. Goo Gone is a little safer. But it also, Goo Gone will actually remove some of the date code labels, whereas my deodorant spray won't.
Okay.
So depending on like how much do I want my filament to come out perfect, you might not want a date code, which is now black,
Yes.
going through and potentially showing up in your print.
See, that's another thing I wouldn't have thought of ahead of time.
We have a variety of users that I try my best with. I try my best with everybody and every desire that they've got. And at some point, this is trash filament. And it won't, it can be perfect, but I don't like to promote that, you know, you'll go insane if you try to make it perfect. And if you run with 90%, you will have a field day.
Wow. And so you know that perfect question comes in. You know, there's lots of different ways to lose a couple percent. One thing that I was thinking about um, as I was looking at for the preparing for you to come today, it was the idea of connecting more than one bottle. It seems like you've got a solution for connecting multiple bottles.
So there's varying methods. We pulled up your first ad for Earth, which made me chuckle because there's a couple of
Oh,
sponsors on there. Mosaic was one of them. One of
Mm.
my
I can
first.
pull that up again.
Sure. Uh, you know, again, M3D is what kicked me off with kind of getting my JRT 3D out there as far as tech support and just becoming, I guess, a 3D entity in the makerspace and helping other people with technical issues. So for me, I had a technical issue. How do we efficiently seam this together, right? And so for my community, a lot of people just wanted an out-of-box solution. Well, an out-of-box solution is $500
Yes, it is.
because the Mosaic Pro 2, specifically the Mosaic Pro 2, not the 3,
1200.
not
Yeah.
the 1, the 2, has a specific cutter as well as a 5-degree hotter than the other one's ability to join high temp filaments.
Oh
Pet,
wow. Okay.
Pet 1 is a high temp filament. It needs at least 255 to break into a molten state.
Okay.
So though the Mosaic allowed me to say we need a cooking, compression, and cooling. The 3 C's to avoid crystallization.
Okay.
So we want to avoid crystallization in our joins because at the end of the day, we're shooting for 260 at the lowest for printing, whereas some higher, I got some pro users that make me go, wow. So they're trying to print high speeds, high temps. So high speed, high temp with our filament is like 285 for your 500 MMS.
Okay.
And I like to print 60C. I'm old school. So I stick to 260 because that's the majority of our firmwares are set for 260, no higher.
Uh-huh.
And so I still want to use my Ender 3s with a all metal hot end and a dual geared extruder
Extruder.
upgrade.
Yes. Yes. Oh
That way
yes.
we got a little more grippy grip on our filament,
Oh, I
and
know. Yes.
we're also avoiding everybody's worry about again inhaling PTFE tube that goes beyond 240C. So the all
Oh,
metal hot
interesting.
end will avoid having potential off gassing of PTFE tubes and causing brain cancer. So that's,
Yeah.
that err on the side of caution, as everybody says. So can you still use PTFE tube printers to print with this? You can. Again, err on the side of caution, as you could be off gassing. But
Right.
Capricorn is rated for 260. So I like to say Capricorn can go up to 260, but no higher. Err on the side of caution.
I see. Wow.
So
It's
you done?
Go ahead, Vicky. Yeah.
You were talking about colorizing earlier. I ran across a nice little video where you're using the Sharpies.
Yep. So some, we got different methods. Some people like to colorize internally so that the external doesn't necessarily potentially get in your throat and then bleed into your secondary print, which can happen. So we have some people's methods where they're applying it inside and they're protruding it in such a way where, again, that's internally, and then when it actually becomes filament, the ink is internal, not both internal and external.
Wow.
What
It's
you see
called
there is external colorization.
right, and the filament that you're making is hollow, like a straw, right?
Correct. So when
Oh,
you're
it is.
colorizing in my method for external colorizing, technically it's going internal as well, because again, it's straw. It has kind of a little slit that allows the ink to get in internally. And then unfortunately, because of the drag and extrusion and all that, externally you're losing that pigment, and it does tend to collect in the nozzle. So it's not necessarily a bad method. I like to say there are multiple methods, and then depending on, so the good thing about pultrusion in some other bottles that aren't PET 1, like HDPE is actually a really nice material for filament nozzle cleaning. So we
Okay.
can make
No,
our
I'm
homemade
learning
nozzle
right and left.
cleaning, and we can kind of clean right in between our print sessions that collected degraded coloring that didn't necessarily get through on the print and just
Wow.
left as residue. So again, there's methods to the madness. There's different ways to it for different people's productions.
Okay.
I've gotten a little trashy. I try to teach what should be done. Unfortunately, my methods have become a little laxed and lazy, which I also try to teach, because if you can get away with the lack and lazy but still educate where it should be, then we can kind of, I like to say, go a little faster without, hitting that 90%. Some people just want that 100% accuracy, 100%. I have to go to work. I need my filament joined. So we do have a joiner. Our joiner is Meld Joiner, and it started as basic. Our community wants everything as low as possible because they know they can get the parts as low as possible, mainly because they have an Ender 3 sitting next to them that they're about to throw away.
That's
And
good.
so for us, that says, okay, you can do this manually like this. If you want it automated, that's going to make it pro level. The automation, though, costs another $100 to $150. So we can either, so we started our Meld joiner off basic without automation.
I think I have that.
Um,
Okay.
and so that was, community driven, get us there. I started the idea, and then we had a community member follow through and get it launched up on printables for us. At the
Wow.
moment, we are automating it so that we can have automated Meld joiner. Again, we need that cooking compression and cooling to avoid our crystallization. And so amongst the automation, we'll have spooling so that it can just be continually joined and spooled. I'm praying to the rep rap gods as we tend to as the rep rap festivals come up. But I will have automated meld joiner at 3D Printopia for
Oh,
display.
wow.
So that is
Yay.
on the
If you
6-week
want to
agenda.
see that automated meld joiner, then make sure to get your tickets at 3dprintopia.com.
So with our joining of KB3D and getting kits put out there, again, that will be another kit that will be available down the road. After 3D Printopia, we will aim to have automated meld joiner as a kit to accompany our KB3D MK6 kit. So we really want to, we're doing, I think the community's kind of really pushed us into it, where the MK6 has turned into a production base. What else can we put as a hat?
Okay.
So
Accessorizing.
Meld Joiner is just an MK6 base. We're going to be hosting Dreams Void from the UK. He's been at Smurf and he's doing 3D printing professor's PrintABloks, and he's doing a 3D printed PrintABlok printer.
Okay.
And so
Can Josh give a quick little summary of the PrintABlok for people if they're not familiar with it?
So the PrintABlok is kind of like a Lego. This is called a Mega Block. Oh my god, I think it's called a Mega Block, but it's pretty much a larger version of what 3D Printing Professor released as a PrintABlok. So Doug has like made it super robust.
Yes.
And so now we just put our PrintABlok pieces in here for connectors. We don't need glue or anything else. So we're making a literal framed printer out of PrintABloks.
Wow.
So Doug's facilitated all that over in the UK. And when he started this project, he started it off with just like DVD motors as a small 3D printer DVD motor project. And it just tickled me. And we're over at 3D Printing Professor's Discord, and just kind of like mutual acquaintances. He got into Recreator, and one day he just popped over and said, "Can I use your MK6 base for my PrintABlok printer?" And I just said, yeah. Like Smurf came around for the first time, and I sponsored a Recreator sponsor table. This is our second year at Smurf with Doug. Amongst my big thing was Doug was so humbled to bring Recreator to Smurf. I can't get to the UK. I'm in the US. That's a dream for me. So a dream, right? A dream void. Like this guy brought the void and pushed it forward for Recreator. So I was blessed that he wanted to. Recreator is about it. We're open. We're not 100% open. We're non-commercial, but we're mixable. And I love the fact that we can remix a bunch of different things. So he brought in the control base, the LCD, and put that into his printer.
Wow.
Year 2 over there, a week before the show kicked off, we had another Recreator community member, Carl, hit us up on oh my god, some platform, and just said, "I'm 2 hours away. Can I join you?" And that allowed me to 100% say, "Doug, represent yourself." We got Carl representing Recreator. And from the start, I wanted Doug to represent his project because it screamed rep rap. And for me, I was invited to Murph, my first rep rap. And I couldn't go, unfortunately, because a week before the show, I was thrusted a whole bunch of community will sponsor you. Bless, the whole community wants to send me, but I can't make it in a week and have all my stuff with me.
Right.
And
yes.
that promoted me to IRF at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had an extension put over there. So it was just before that we did still go to Murph. Jason from LDO said you can have a
Oh,
quarter of one of our tables.
that's wild.
And we had one of our community members where I then at that point started ambassadors. We had
Wow.
one of our ambassadors go there and represent the MK3 unit for us.
Wow, that was a
So
while ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a all over the place journey for us.
Well, quick question for you, Josh. Now, because of the history and all the things you've kind of learned, and you're incorporating into the process with Recreator, and of course the idea is to print. First of all, can we see a couple of prints with recreated
Sure thing.
filament?
So we got a community member, and he's just been nonstop pumping stuff out.
Do you know what kind of machine
Um,
he has?
so I believe he is working with at the moment. I think he just got a Creality K1.
Okay.
And outside of that, I believe he's just got a modified Ender 3.
Okay.
So yeah, this is Joe Lane. He's been pretty much going to farmers markets. Uh, I
Mm-hmm.
I consider him my pro Recreator user. He is
Wow.
literally the prime example of what you can do. Printing, you don't necessarily have to join the filament. A lot of people want to join it, but I like to advocate that you don't need to. And so if you've got a filament runout sensor, which most printers do,
Yeah.
and again, this filament can be used with the majority of 3D printers as long as
Mm-hmm.
they've got the dual grip on the extruder and an all metal hot
Ah,
melt.
gotcha.
So to compensate for our 90% filament that has 10% out of the inside, we are doing calibration cubes, just
Uh-huh.
like you would calibrate any other filament. Unfortunately, again, with bamboo type of printing, we've gotten generic. And generic settings have really spoiled us the last couple years to where you can just grab any kind of 1.75 is now
Mm-hmm.
standard, really
Mm-hmm.
standard to the point
Yeah.
where you can just hit generic profile and oh wow, it printed good. No strings, no retractions, none of that. So we're going old school with this. We're
Oh,
doing a
gotcha.
calibration cube. We're actually calibrating, but
Uh-huh.
then you're making it perfect. Your
Mm,
slicer is like, I love this. It's 1.75. You've just
gotcha.
adjusted it by zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.7,
Right. For
Um,
for any voids that are inside of it.
yeah, so
And
for me again,
you
I like to
increase
advocate.
the extrusion rate, don't you?
Yep,
Because it's
yep.
hollow. Yep.
Yeah, so it's just mainly extrusion rate. It's going to be like normally it's 0.01. We tend to go to like point 0 or sorry, it's point 10, and then we tend to go to point 1, and then
Okay.
sometimes it can go up to 1.3,
Uh-huh.
or 30% extra. It depends on if you're
Ah,
using Prusa
yeah.
slicer versus Kira slicer.
Mm-hmm.
They've either got percentages or decimals amongst how their systems are working. But yeah, I like to say that once you've got that profile, this filament, it might be trash, but it's actually more
It
robust
was.
than your commercial filament that you're getting. We're blessed by Stefan at CNC Kitchen, who has done numerous tensile testings with this, and
Uh-huh.
he's got charts out there that actually show that this is comparable to ASA, which is crazy to think. Uh,
Wow.
ASA is one of our highest, temp filament that we're trying to go with. So again, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have the glycol in it. Once you've got the glycol in it, which would be your standard PET G, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a little more easier to work with. But once you've got this dialed in, you're like, oh wow. Again, like you said, I've got my rapid prototyped filament. This is
Yeah.
like the true rapid prototyping filament.
Wow.
So this piece was like done, in multiple parts. So that's where you were getting about 25 grams off of a 2-liter bottle.
Okay.
So that's for most people their next print.
Yes. I could definitely.
For other people, they're like, nah, man, I need 250 grams. That's my next print. For other people, they're like, nah, 2K is my next print. Load me up. And a lot of people, they're either going to bed or they're going to work. But at the same time, you can schedule your printing routine.
Wow,
Maybe
look
it's
at
a
that.
Saturday and you've got 3 hours and you're like, oh, 25 grams is going to be an hour. So you can schedule your next 3 hours with 3 filament shifts, and that's going to
Mhm.
give you 75 grams. So for
Right.
a Saturday afternoon, we could throw on a YouTube movie for a couple hours while we're
Right.
printing and just fill out, oh, my printer's hungry, it wants new filament, load it up and you're ready to go. I
Wow.
like to really encourage that again, for younger kids. We got a lot of younger kids. Vic, you said your kids are getting into it. I just
Mhm.
did a whole presentation in DC where we did 30 kids in a classroom. And like some of them were just getting into 3D printing. So to think like, oh, you also have to join this. A lot of our community members are like, oh, I got to get a joiner. I got to spend more money on joining.
I
Joining as a hand technique, as a dance. It's like the salsa or the samba, where if you're just
believe it.
tripping on yourself, your join that you just spent 30 minutes trying to join can break before it even hits your
Even hits
sensor.
oh my
So
gosh.
you could be breaking before your sensor hits and still ruining your print. And so again, I mentioned those 3 C's to avoid crystallization, because our
Hmm.
joins, a hand method join can easily crystallize and that can easily break. And that is so frustrating to say, I just spent time cleaning my bottle, stripping my bottle, pultruding my bottle, to now then joining my bottle,
Wow.
and at that join it broke.
Yeah.
My
Yes.
whole production effort is now discouraged, and I
Right.
I I aimed to be, let's take that discouragement out. Let's try to
Hmm.
again use what we've got. We've got filament sensors. Let's use them.
Hmm.
I would say a good like 40% of my community is just like, yeah, filament sensors. Let's just rock and roll.
Got it. And
Yeah.
now, do you have a recommendation for nozzle size? Are
Good
you all?
question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so we can bring in debris potentially. And I
Yes.
like to say, like, how much dust is your environment? Like, I try to take a towel to my filament before it's going into, correction, my strip before it's going into my pultruder unit. That way, when it's curling in on itself, it's not potentially sneaking in little debris.
Hmm.
And so, just like any other commercial filament, there could potentially be debris in your filament. And I know
Right.
we've all I bought some filament from Florida. I won't say the brand, but I've definitely had sand in my filament.
Well, the reason I ask is because when I was doing Pet G, I found myself going up in my nozzle size to try to achieve the light qualities of it, to get it to be translucent.
So I would
So.
tell anybody, if they're like hitting any kind of debris jamming issues, to consider going upwards to a point 0.6.
Hmm.
I point 0.4 all day. I
Hmm.
wouldn't go any lower than that. Again,
Yeah.
possible potential debris. And you
That's
got to
all Pet G.
consider,
That's all Pet G, my opinion.
yeah. And so, drying your filament is going to be a crucial step for recycled filament in general, whether it's
All Pet
Pet
G.
One, all filaments,
Good point.
all
I
True.
filaments.
I
True.
have a new poly dryer, so I can use that.
I am from New England. I struggle with a basement that is constantly like 65, and we want to aim
Uh-huh.
for 45, right? And
Right.
so pet pet is already coming from water. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
holding water, it's holding soda, it's liquid. Um, and all our material is hygroscopic. Pet G is super hygroscopic. Pet 1 is also super hygroscopic.
Mm-hmm.
And so drying at least 55
Mm-hmm.
for 4 to 6 hours before you're printing with it, it will 100% make your filament visually better
Mm.
and structurally better. Just like any other filaments that we're using commercially. If you let it
Mm-hmm.
out, I got a client, it's all TPU. I
Oh,
I don't really print for TPU, but I've gotten very diligent about keeping my TPU dry.
yes, you should.
Because it's all strings otherwise, as well as layer degradation. De-
Degradation.
Thank you. And so now your print runs shot, and your customers saying, "Why is my quality crap?" And just like, I printed you with your trash filament and it's trash. Well, did you dry it? I didn't. Well, dry it.
Yeah.
And so that is number one issue where I just bought an Ender 3 from someone local for $60. $60 for an Ender 3. They gave me 2 rolls of filament. For fun, I said, let me print with the filament.
Mm-hmm.
That was a mistake. Like, I needed to severely dry it because it had been in someone's garage for long enough where if you don't know about to do that, you're sending your filament back, you're sending your printer back as a
Mhm.
novice. You're like, I don't understand. I did all my slicer settings, I did everything. Did you dry? I didn't. Are you going to? I'm not. Then you're not going to have a good experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And there are people that do fight the process. You have to dry it. I don't want to.
Well,
May not be
honestly,
for you.
I mean, but I was spoiled because it's just working in PLA or a PLA PHA blend from ColorFab for years and years. But it's just in like what the last 4 weeks that I dried filament for the first time, and it was TPU.
Controlling variables. Yeah.
Yep.
So now, don't get me wrong, I've also bought some very cheap filament off of eBay, which I
Mm-hmm.
don't suggest anybody does. And it was, questionable brand because it had no brand, and you don't know what PLA is. PLA. Is it PLA
yes.
Pro? Is it just pure sugar? Is it pure corn? And so again, is it satin? Is it silk?
Yeah.
Um, and now we've got how many other variations of it that are bringing it, and that is the joke, is like, what percentage of what is in it.
Right.
Pet G, I argue Pet G is not just Pet G. There are, with amongst brands, and again, what mixture of what is going into that brand's filament? Is it
Right.
making it a little more robust towards heat, or is it making it a little more malleable towards heat and
Right.
and and, and
You,
flowable?
you're making a lot. You're making a lot of distinctions with the PET G filament. Sounds like somebody's going to bring some filament to the filament swap. What do you think, Vicky?
Maybe. Which at 3D Printopia, if you're not familiar with the Polar 3D and the Filament Stories tables, and they do this at the other Rip Rap festivals as well. You can bring in a roll of filament.
Wait a
They'll
minute.
weigh it and give you a ticket, and then you can use those tickets to get a different roll of filament that someone else brought in. So you can
is
exchange
Mm-hmm.
it.
Do you tend to get more people with like cursed filament looking for uncursed filament that put, like
We will have to get them on and ask them.
I didn't pick. By the time I got there, the colors were just a little bit. They were not colors that I could use, so I didn't pick any up. I couldn't answer that definitively, but I'm definitely bringing my rolls this year. I
Yeah,
have a
and
lot.
anything that's unclaimed gets donated to a local maker space.
and so with like pellet, I mentioned pelletizing, and bad rolls of filament that are like, oh my, this is cursed, it's going in the trash, because
Mhm.
no matter how much you dry it, it's just bad it's just bad filament, and that's out there for different brands. And if you're
Hmm.
just trying to save some money, unfortunately, you get the gamble.
But Josh, I've been sitting here thinking about the recycling aspect of what you're talking about, and really, the Recreator is a. If you can ever go international, the Recreator is like great for. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about Jamaica right now.
Sure
But
thing.
Oh.
a lot of places in the world where to bring in a roll of filament to make something that really people will start using things, making things that are useful for them, making tools for gardening or for their home or knobs, and
Yep.
there's all kinds of wonderful things that can happen with this project. I think that some of the things that you're presenting are certainly Western things that where people are like, I'll just go to Micro Center.
Sure thing.
But
So
when people are in a different situation, yes, go ahead, tell us about that.
yeah. So thank you for that. That's a great push for where we can go. Um, I mentioned ambassadors. Ambassadors allow me to reach to areas that I could never imagine going to.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to have an ambassador come last year. He's now an ambassador. He wasn't at the time to 3D Printopia. He saw me from Joel Telling's stream from the first year and said, "This is amazing. Can we bring it to DC?" And it was like, "Oh, yes." So they flew me down there, and we had again the class with 30 kids and teaching them how to do pultrusion. Amongst that week, me being down there, we actually trained Rana Labs, another member who is in Guatemala.
Ah.
And right now, I'm working with a gentleman who's been going to the Philippines
Mm-hmm.
and trying to do a makerspace in the Philippines. We've sent one of our MK3 units out to Pakistan
Mm-hmm.
and different places. So yeah, Africa is unfortunately getting things into Africa is like crazy, like costly.
I
And
believe it.
anybody who has reached out to me from Africa is seen with like a $15,000 shipping fee. A
Wow.
shipping fee. Like they were arguing with me that my $300 unit was more expensive than a $1,500 shipping fee, and I'm like, if you think my unit costs too much, we got to talk about that shipping fee.
Right.
So one of the good things about KB3D is their kit bashing, getting kits out to into the reality. Um,
Wow. That's
so
great.
teaming up with them has been great because they do international shipping. Whereas again, I'd be trying to convince somebody of $1,500 shipping. I don't know how much a kit costs to Africa, but
Mm-hmm.
I do know international shipping rates that KB3D is in Pevy 2. It goes from like 25 dollars US, and then I
Uh-huh.
think the highest internationally that I've seen so far is $55, which
Wow.
is phenomenal for us. We're pretty much as close to parts cost as we can be.
I can
I'm
tell.
getting a
Yeah.
small percentage. KB3 is getting a small percentage, but we have really focused on keeping this rep wrap. Keep it rep wrap.
Yes.
And
Thank you for doing that, by the way. That's
Mhm.
really crucial.
it's it is and again to facilitate it globally. When I started with a pet bot, and pet bot was
Hmm.
created by Roman Nishkashev, but it was coming from Russia at a $400 shipping fee with a $400 purchase fee. So at the time I got a pet bot, unfortunately came to me kind of destroyed to the point where I had to put it back together. So I'm now sitting on like $800 unit where I'm like, at one point I posted on Twitter, "Hey, look at what I'm doing for filament,
Mm-hmm.
making it out of trash with this Pultruder unit." And Naomi Wu,
Oh,
Sexy Cyborg,
yeah.
pushed that, and it
Wow.
blew up overnight.
Wow.
I went from like 6 users on Twitter, never using Twitter for like 5 years of being on Twitter, to one night I said, let's have some fun with this. And the next morning I had like, I don't know, 100 followers from 6, and it just moved forward from there.
That's
Um,
amazing.
So
That
with that, I was working on my OG extruder, and at that point
yeah.
I said, time to divert, and because people wanted to get filament samples. And so
Mm,
sending out filament samples became something that I said, under JRT 3D, we're going to start sending out pultruded filament samples. And
mm,
one of the people that asked for it was um, Stefan from CNC Kitchen. So he has been an avid supporter of us, as well as promoting pultrusion. They don't really need it over there. They have likely the best recycling program in the
yeah.
world
Yeah.
globally,
Yeah.
where they get, I think, like 45 cents for
Oh.
whatever bottle you bring them.
Oh my gosh.
For
Wow.
whatever bottle you bring them. Like, we need to have a carbonated bottle in order to get a redemption. So like water bottles and stuff, like water
Mm-hmm.
bottles
Mm-hmm.
is nothing for us. It's trash.
Mm-hmm.
Over there they're getting 45 cents. Like,
Wow.
what?
That's
You
staggering.
guys are rich.
Wow.
And so again, for places that are engulfed in Pet One, Africa, they have headhunters, people who specifically go out. Their jobs are to just collect Pet One wherever it is. They go back to the place that buys it from them.
Uh-huh.
It's usually then turned into jeans
Oh.
and fabric for your jeans. Just like a cotton candy machine, we're taking our our Pet One fibers and they're putting it into a cotton candy machine, and it's
Wow.
spitting out all our acrylic that goes back into our 50/50 blends.
Wow. I got another question for you, Josh. And sorry, I'm going back and forth. Do you have a question, Vicky?
Eventually, I want to hear about the little Captain Recreator
Yes.
character, but we can save that. That's
No, no,
not
no.
very
Please.
particularly heavy.
Yeah, no, no. Actually, go. Yeah, actually, that was something that I was thinking, asking about with the things that have been printed. But yes, tell us about the Captain Creator.
You little
Sure,
guy.
let's move on to Captain Recreator. So Captain
Recreator.
Recreator by Wetzker, yep, you see him right there. I brought him on my entire journey to DC. So if you each throughout that entire trip, we just anywhere I could take a photo, I tried. And so
Awesome.
we had a bunch of sponsors that got us there. One of them being Luban. So you mentioned showing off some prints. So I was
Hmm.
Luban 3D is a software that can make our glasses. So I
Uh huh.
literally can make glasses that have my own prescription inside them. And so we were able to facilitate our frames. The
Wow.
joke is I will eventually print this out of Coke so that I can have Coke bottle glasses. But yeah, so Captain Recreator's got those glasses. So I
That's
wanted to
awesome.
kind of, everybody who saw Captain, wow, that's you. And I'm like, yeah, it's I'm humbled
did it
by it. I had to twist some arms to get it, but it's
did
been
it
an
start
awesome thing.
as the 2D version, or did Wexter do the 3D?
So when Facebook had some transitional caricatures for avatars, I managed to download a bunch and kind of convert those into an idea. I sent the idea, and he sent that back to me, and I said thank you and rolled with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, here's
So
the
after
little 2D
you know,
version that's
so
everywhere.
we've kind of like turned, I sent that over to 3D printing professor who was doing a PrintABlok campaign for Mechas at the time.
Uh huh.
And so I kickstarted or, helped them kickstart that and pretty much got a Recreator Mecha from
Awesome.
PrintABlok. So I like to support as it comes apart, but you can see that, it's just
Mm-hmm.
connecting just like Lego
Good bit.
pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, great for printing with Pet One, just all our small pieces that you can put together and join stuff together. Um, but yeah, I love the whole community aspect. I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for community pushing me forward,
Mm-hmm.
as well as helping expand mods. And you get an Ender 3, what's the first thing you do? Let's
Modify
mod
it.
it. And you likely got that mod from somebody else that just said, here's my mod. So community efforts go the distance. So yeah, like you mentioned the racer
Yeah.
earlier. The
Oh,
racer is
beautiful.
all
So
pet
cute.
one.
That's
I
awesome.
wanted I wanted to get Captain Recreator in there like we're driving it. This actually added some weight to the back. This was my first ever derby racer, and the fact that I won the trophy, it's snuck back there. I look at it daily.
Awesome.
Was a blessing to me.
It's
My
a big
fiance,
trophy. It can't sneak anywhere. It's
all
big.
the other sponsors were like, "We're glad you won that because we got no room for it." But yeah, it's all pet one. I wanted to make it look like a bottle. So again, like I looked up real quick, like, what's the best way to make a racer? You put the weight in the back. You kind of make the front a little less weighty. You make sure your wheels can continuously spin. So I got in there with some carbon and
Is that a real bottle cap on the front?
it is, again, we want
That's a nice
to
detail.
Wow, that's awesome.
recycle the bottle caps. So on my gonna lose that off my table, but one of the things that we've got on our Recreator units is just our knob on the front,
Oh my, that's
That's
we
beautiful.
just
Oh,
add
perfect.
the
wow.
bottle.
It's
So like
perfect.
depending on the area, like a lot of people in the foreign countries, they've got different bottle caps. So it's been fun to see different bottles being used. I'm very
What version is that you just held up?
this is the MK6
Oh.
KB3 version. On the KB3 version, we've added some accent. So we can print in different colors. So like for this one, we've printed the first layer and then we went into another color. So like you can kind of see the different kind of color tones going on. I am a visual artist first and foremost before 3D printing.
Wow.
So I really looked at Recreator as an artistic piece. Like when when Pultrusion units were coming out and still are out, they were more like Frankenstein builds, where I wanted to have some sort of base that people could start with and then build out from, not just a 2x4 that our electronics are screwed to and some questionable hot ends and wiring that it doesn't look it. I wanted to bring it back to 3D printing where I'm like, I want to have something look like it fits next to my 3D printer.
Yeah, design is something that often gets overlooked as we're trying to advance technology. It really does. So good for you. It's awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of engineers. I'm not an engineer at all. I actually took tech drawing in high school, so I kind of have that tech drawing aspect of art, but I never got in. I failed math. I am not a math person at all. So for me, in rep rap and math, like doesn't jive at all. Right now I'm working on Simon version 2, which will be at the show. And so again, this is 3D printing professor's little tiny guy that he made, and I said I want to stick a monitor in it and make it a real computer companion buddy that you can bring around and play video games on and stuff. So right now you can see like inside I've got a couple different marking points that I have to take a hot iron to.
Oh boy, here we go.
So
Rep all day long.
well, so now do you throw away because you can reprint, or do you use what you printed and try to hack and slash and modify it? And so for me again, I'm trying to say again.
Make it and fake it. Like it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Vicky, as I mentioned to you, I'm going to be covering Simon version 2 with all my stickers from collected rep wraps. So as much as it doesn't visually look the best right now, artistically, I plan on really giving it a good paint color and then jazzing it all out with the last 3 years of rep wrap.
Wow.
Did you do a little one for phones too, or am I seeing what I wanted?
There is one floating around from somebody else who also made one smaller. I started that as a Raspberry Pi with a smaller screen,
Oh,
but there is somebody else who has also like joined the fun and modifying Professor's thing into their own version of Simon,
yeah.
which is awesome. Like, so one of the things we'll have on display that is a little more automated, that Joe also produced for us is, I think this is a Star Wars thing. I'm not, he likes his Star Wars droids, but this one
Uh-huh.
actually turns on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh
And
my goodness.
so a lot of people want to know how Pet One is paintable. And so I'm going to try to do a couple layers of paint on this where we can kind of split it in half so
Mm-hmm.
people can have an idea of visually like, oh, wow, that light really shines through that bottle material really good. So if
Yeah.
we paint on the side here, that one part that actually comes out and blasts
Ah,
out
that's really
will
going to
really be
tell.
highlighted. So, again, I want to try to bring some more art back to. We have all our MMUs now. We now have no excuse to have color.
Right.
And if you're not artistic, it doesn't matter. You just spit a bunch of bamboo poop out, right? You got all this waste.
Yeah.
But that's the, again, part of Recreator 3D. It kind of went into bamboo waste. We're trying to, again, focus on our Pet One waste,
Yeah.
but once we got into it, we're like, oh wow, bamboo, we got so much bamboo waste, we got so much Pet One waste, we don't want to make waste. So
Gotcha.
at the end of the day, I started turning my garage into just like, how can we make home recycle? Like, again, rep wrap. Everybody said, how can I recycle my filament
Mm-hmm.
cheaply?
And it used to be failed prints, and now it's poop.
Uh, unfortunately,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
I have heard stories of like, oh, just flush it down the toilet.
Oh, no, 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 no. That's crazy.
And you start to hear things like that, and you say it's crazy, but there are people that would actually do it. And
Well, I mean, it's crazy because you're gonna call a plumber. So I mean, forget the environmental part. You're gonna spend several $100 getting that straightened out. No, no,
the
no.
good thing, like after it was Earth 2023, I gave a LDO uh, live speak about just where Recreator came from, and again, like how we were going full circle with recycling. The
Hmm.
next day, Prusa literally started their Prusa map with, oh my God, precious plastics.
Hmm.
Oh
So
yeah.
with precious plastics, they opened up the ability for someone like me to say I'm a home recycler within my area, and
Oh
anybody within my
yeah.
area can then facilitate. If I put myself as PLA only, I could then take in PLA waste and facilitate Prusa's map as far as a home recycler.
Yeah. I remember
Um,
that.
I don't want to say like, oh, I prompted Prusia to go home and do that, but it was just like, did I just give a speak about this and then the next day it happened? It just felt full circle regardless.
Yeah.
So
That's wonderful. That is great. Yeah. Well, it's getting on to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, as always, the time flies. Gonna grab the link for that Prusa map and throw it into the chat real quick.
yeah, it's super phenomenal. Just that alone in getting us like, again, community driven.
Hmm.
Too many people don't care about the waste. Again, just like you got a soda bottle and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna throw this away. Like the fact that you can get 25 grams of material out of most 2-liter bottles, and that's about 15 to 20 minutes depending on how you run the pultrusion
Good
unit.
point. Never thought about that.
So again, like we're primarily keeping the carbon footprint down, but we're also changing our mentalities that for about under $2,000 you can start to become your own recycling facility within your house, not necessarily your house, but maybe your garage. But again, that's where most of our rep rap projects have started us.
Absolutely, and it'll get more efficient and less and more efficient and better and the more the people get in and contribute ideas, which is the wonderful thing about RepRap. So
Yep, yep.
absolutely wonderful.
So yeah, I welcome everybody. We're going to be at 3D Printopia
Yay!
2025. Yeah. Again, we're bringing Doug over from the UK, Dreams Void. We're excited about that. If we can, 3D printing professor might be joining us at our table, but for the most part, we're going to be pushing our MK3, our MK6
Mhm.
KB3D kit. It's about 215 at online now if you wanted to purchase it, and we'll have them
Mhm.
at the show. So
Wonderful. That's a great idea. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate this
Yes.
this, this
yeah,
perspective. Yes.
again, thank you for having me. We're not just kits. Again, we've got the plenty of Ender 3s to revitalize and save from the trash.
Yeah,
We've got to
that's
get
what
those and turn them into
yeah.
pultrusion units.
I've been seeing you for many years, and yeah, that just preparing for this episode, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're also tackling e-waste. That was mind blowing to
That's the
me,
big,
and
big,
Yeah,
big part of it.
kudos,
the
kudos to you.
kits are secondary, really. Again, it's mostly recycling and taking your e-waste and turning it back into something that just, again, why throw away your parts when they're still viable?
Yeah.
So part of the KB3D, we actually have a configurator where if you do have an Ender 3 and you still wanted to get a kit, you can use the configurator to actually reduce the hot end or the motor or other parts that you already have, and that will reduce your overall cost in your
Oh,
kit.
nice.
So KB3D is one of the best marriages that we could have for a company that's actually keeping our recycling mantra in mind with what we can do as a product. So again, we're not just facilitating the kit for 50% of the people who don't or can't do it yourself with tooling because they're doing all that in-house. We're still also allowing you to be able to reuse, reduce, and recreate.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank
And
you, Josh. Did you have something else before
oh,
I?
can you put up the link? Do we have a link for KV3D? Is that what you said,
Oop,
Josh?
Yep.
hold on. I'll see if I can fetch that real quick.
And yeah, KB3D, they're open hardware, and if you've got a kit and you're trying to get it into reality, they're the ones to hit up. They've got multiple brands that are under their umbrella. So yeah, I again just again acquiring Philistruder just to go through their website and see what they've got for product is just like almost overwhelming. I've never seen another company that has so much.
Wow. KV3D.
And the links in the chat as well.
All right, great.
Appreciate you all having me on, and
Oh,
again, thank you. This is hopefully gonna get me back into some YouTube videos this month. So again, thank you for getting me there.
oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes, and especially leading up to seeing you in person. We'd love to see that. Yes.
Yeah, are you gonna be at 3D Printopia yourself?
Yes, I am. Yes, definitely. I'm gonna
Very
see if
good.
I can't.
Yes.
I'm gonna see if I can't get. I've got a 3D printing club here on campus, and if I can figure out a way to get them to volunteer, then I can probably show up for setup or something like that on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, it's all about getting the community together and seeing who are the pro people to get everybody else amped up, right?
Most
So
Yeah.
certainly, yes,
very good. Well, I look forward to
absolutely,
meeting you there in person.
yes. It's going to be a
Yeah.
great time, Josh. Yes,
He's a longtime volunteer, and he was also a speaker at the 2018, the very first East Coast Rip
yes,
Rap Festival.
yes. I
And an
was.
OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Okay, well, wrapping up, I want to thank Josh and Lawrence and everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us on this Prime Number Tuesday. Um,
Yes,
we will be going live on the next Prime Tuesday, which is 2 weeks from now, and it is August 19th. So we hope to catch some of you then. And till then, happy printing and look for opportunities to reuse and recycle and recreate.
Yes.
Happy
absolutely.
recreating, everybody.
Happy recreating.
Thank you again.